given strict orders by Maryemma Graham to make sure that today's session is a party, a celebration of Langston's 100th birthday. And I think that we all have complied with that directive. And all of the necessary ingredients that make for a party, a successful party, are in place. I wore a red dress. We've been treated by wonderful music by some of the School of Fine Arts talented students. The symposium has brought together 600 friends, and I'm sure that all of you will agree that Langston's spirit is here with us today. Langston Hughes was a multifaceted individual, an artist, social activist, lover of all of the arts, humorist, and a lover of people. And people throughout the world continue to love Langston Hughes. The presentations this afternoon will reflect the influence and impact of Langston Hughes on several generations of artists, scholars, and activists. All of our presenters are well known, and with the exception of 3 individuals, all have bios included in your program booklet. As a result, my introductions will be very brief or non-existent. We are privileged to have tributes by 7 artists who are present with us today, in addition to 4 artists who will join us via videotape, and that will conclude the program. The order of presentations begins with a special reading by Sonia Sanchez entitled, "Tell Me Your Blues and I'll Show You Langston." Following the Sanchez will be Amiri Baraka, Tchaiko Kwayana, and Ms. Kwayana is a native of Georgia. She's taught English at the high school level and college level on 3 continents, in Nigeria, Guyana, and on both the east and west coasts of the United States. Ms. Kwayana is a friend of Langston Hughes and a friend of Maryemma Graham. The younger generation of scholars will be represented by Jessica Moore and Tony Medina. And then we will conclude with the in-person presentations by Val Gray Ward and Eugene Redmond. Please welcome Ms. Sonia Sanchez.
Langston Hughes, some lessons for young people. And what I've written here was strengthened by an incident that happened yesterday here that I thought needed to be put into that context. I've written this because I want to be clear and not miss anything. So I'm going to just read, and it may in some instances appear to be name dropping or vain, but it isn't for that. You will see I'm trying to use Langston as a means of making some other connections that I hope will make a difference for our youngsters, especially in this country. I've titled this January 28, 1967, at my place, 521 West 112th Street, apartment 1B, New York City. Langston, Gwen and Jake Lawrence, Betty and Elton Fax. Intergenerational connections. What has helped us to prevail? My tribute to Langston Hughes would be a tribute to the power of interconnecting, interlinking, of reforming and extending family. Our strength, yea, our survival, has come from that communal philosophy. My seatmate on a South African Airlines return from Johannesburg back here last month, an African American of Captain Paul's generation who had spent most of his life in South African villages, gave a name for the African philosophical concept that makes Africans one family. He could not spell it nor translate the concept into a European tongue, he said. He called it Ubuntu. This is what I wrote of his dictated struggle to define Ubuntu as we flew back across the Atlantic. Having sympathy, love, compassion, as a sense of family, not describable, acting not for expected returns, but done automatically. A sense of family that has people never having met before, speak to, feel a kinship toward each other. There's a built-in code against exploitation of this principle. The culprit will be branded and ostracized. It is appropriate that I, in the spirit of these connections, recognize a member of my extended family through my undergraduate schooling at Payne College, Augusta, Georgia. That 45-year-old connection has been with the daughter of Payne College's vice president, Dr. Willie Graham, my father's contemporary as a Payne College student, Payne High School, it would have been then, Dr. Maryemma Graham. It is a kinship that has intensified over these decades. Even observing from this conference, part of Maryemma's strength has been keeping close to family, connecting for succor. My dear little sister, you do us proud. May your many talents and services continue to flow outward to your offsprings, your students, your peers, Margaret Walker's people, and to the world. Asante Sana. It was through the same system of interconnections that I would form many relationships that would lead Langston Hughes to my little Manhattan studio apartment for a small party on January 20, 1967, short of 4 months before his death. That party, filled with robust laughter and serious discussion, brought Langston together with Gwen, Jacob Lawrence, their friends Betty and Elton Fax, and Jay Wright. I cannot remember if Dr. Wilfred Cartey was present, though I think he was. Now, how could the life of this CME preacher's kid who grew up in a town we pronounce as Buena Vista, Georgia, connect itself with Langston Hughes? How not would be my answer. A myriad of blessed experiences started, and my family would shape my worldview, making me see the world as a place to explore, a place with layers of people in the embrace of Ubuntu. Amidst the starkness of racism in that climate country of my earth, there were not only the comforts of community, but also the power of validation and exposure. Langston and my uncle, Dr. Josephus R. Cohen, were both born in 1902. Uncle Joe on November 26th. Uncle Joe, still alive and not wearing glasses today, has been such a girding for me. And it was my honor to travel recently to Johannesburg to witness the groundbreaking of a virtual and distance learning center at the reopening of Wilberforce Community College, where Uncle Joe, for 9 years until the end of World War II, served through the AME Church. The